Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, served up by Wendy's on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan. Download the Wendy's app today.
This is Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. My name is Mitch Nelles, a.k.a. Thunder. MICAH Parsons is a Green Bay Packer. The trade just about 15, 16, 17 minutes ago. All the breaking news on the Twitterverse. Unbelievable. Charlie, my brain has exploded.
Yeah.
I still don't believe it. I'm looking at Twitter, and I still don't believe it.
So you want to know the player that the Packers are giving for MICAH Parsons?
Sure.
The Cowboys will receive Kenny Clark and 2 first-round picks for MICAH Parsons.
No. Kenny Clark?
Kenny Clark is
the other.
There's probably a few other later-round picks right now, but Kenny Clark is the player to be going, according to Adam Schefter, once again.
What? All right, well, we got to bring him on right away. The host of this show, Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, who's supposed to be on vacation, but there is no vacation in the world of sports. Sparky, what is going on?
So, first of all, you're right. I'm supposed to be on vacation. Moved my kid to lacrosse yesterday. Today, texted my boss. He's like, so you're off. I was like, I've been working since 8 a.m. So finally, everything quieted down, shut the laptop. I'm like, okay, family time. Let's go to the Dell's outlets. So we're at the Dell's outlet. I'm in the Adidas store, and our boss, Mitch Rosen, calls me, and he's like, MICAH Parsons, blah, 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 blah. And I'll be honest with you, he screwed with me so many times on false stories that I had no reaction. I was like, yeah, okay, fine, funny, okay. So I hung up the phone and I looked. I'm like, holy crap, he's not lying to me. It's true, MICAH Parsons to the Packers. First off, let me just say that Brian Gutekunst, you can put him into the Packer Hall of Fame right now. I don't care what happens. Nobody thought he was going to pull this off, especially not me. And you're only giving up a couple of ones, and Kenny freaking Clark, who was hurt last year and was a non-factor for this team most of the year, absolutely you do that deal a million times over. I was sitting here on hold going, please don't let it be Adrian Cooper. Please don't let it be Adrian Cooper.
Same. I said the same thing. Spark.
And I'm like, okay, if it's not Cooper, but Kenny Clark 2 once for MICAH Parsons, and they signed to a 4-year extension, that's a grand slam. Like there's no questioning that. Nobody thought he would do it, and that is amazing. Good job, Brian Gutekunst.
I mean, I'm just like, I'm beyond shocked. I was full 100% no way. There's no way this is happening. I don't care what rumors come out in the NFL. I don't care what they're saying. Like, there's no way. Like, this is fairyland. This is fantasy football. It's fantasy football for the Green Bay Packers to make a trade for MICAH Parsons. I mean, what world do we live in right now, Sparky, that the Packers just made a trade for MICAH Parsons?
I'll tell you what world we live in, and I'll explain it to you real nice and easily.
Please
here. What
do.
world we live in? We live in the world of the NFL is controlled by a super agent named David Mulgado, who represents Jordan Love, and he obviously got that deal done with Brian Gutekunst. They have a relationship, and they figured out a way to get that deal done. It's all about the agents, man. Like back in the day, this isn't going to be horrible. And people are like, that's a horrible way to bring up because they weren't that great. But back in the day, remember Jeff Schwartz, the NBA agent?
Sure.
And he was boys with Jason Kidd. And Jeff Schwartz was funneling people to the Bucks for his agents, through his players to get to the Bucks in the NBA. If David Mulgado wants to do the same things for the Green Bay Packers, God bless him. Because that move to get MICAH Parsons makes this team a legitimate Super Bowl favorite in the NFC. It's them and the Eagles now, and then there's a tier after those two.
I mean, this is just absolutely unbelievable. Steve Sparky Pfeiffer on his own show on the Fan Guest Line, powered by Gruber Law, one called That's All. MICAH Parsons to the Packers, 2 first-round picks, and Kenny Clark to the Dallas Cowboys. Sparky, what do you think about the ticket prices Sunday, September 28th in Dallas now? How crazy? I want to go online and buy every ticket that's on Ticketmaster today and just hold them hostage.
But you know what, though? Like, you think about that. The Cowboys fans can't be mad at MICAH Parsons, can they? They can't be, like, booing MICAH Parsons when he comes back, can they?
No,
can they boo MICAH Parsons when he comes back?
No, they boo Jerry Jones, right? Like, I think most smart – listen, of course there's going to be some people who just cheer for the name on the front of the jersey, and they're going to boo anybody who's not on the Cowboys and anybody who left the Cowboys. But I think most intelligent fans are going to boo Jerry Jones. They're not going to boo MICAH Parsons.
I cannot believe we are living in a world where the Packers gave up multiple ones. Like, that's more shocking than Kenny Clark.
Yep.
Like, if you said, okay, they're trading a couple players, but they're keeping their ones, their precious golden picks, I'd have been like, yes, Eggers. But to trade multiple ones and say, to heck with it, we're pushing all chips in, we're going to go for this bad boy. Man, oh man, oh man. And you're going to have him and Edgerrin Cooper both on the field at the same time with Quay Walker possibly in the middle if he figures things out. And again, you look at the linebackers. Remember, they kept 4 linebackers? And everybody kept saying, well, that's a sign. Why aren't they keeping more than 4 linebackers? They must be up to something. And they were. All those rumors that are out there, I poo-pooed everybody. Everybody.
Same. No way. There's no way.
Everybody.
Yep.
Remember, in fact, John Kuhn tweeted on Micah freaking Parsons, and Matt Schneidman put out a DM message between him and Kuhn and said, I can't believe you followed some troll. You know better than that or whatever. And now here it is, done deal. Nobody believed it to be true, and it happened.
Sparky, you're supposed to be on vacation. You're getting yelled at by our bosses that you're supposed to be on vacation.
No, they're not even listening. Don't worry about that.
I know. All right. So now what? Like that now? Do we buy our Super Bowl tickets now? Like, I think
now it's them and Philly, right? I don't know if there's another team that's gonna be able to compete with these guys. I mean, Jeff Hafley, he's got to be on his knees thanking the Lord for giving him Micah Parsons.
Right? He's got all the toys to play with now.
Oh my God! Could you imagine all the things he can do with Micah Parsons in that defense? I mean, nobody cares about Jair Alexander being gone now, and nobody's going to miss Kenny Clark. I
don't think so.
Amazing.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Anything else you want to leave us with? We got some full phone lines,
dude.
And this is I still don't believe it. It happened 20 plus
minutes
minutes
ago.
Now. I don't believe it.
The person with the most to gain out of this that better is Rashawn Gary. Dude, you better freaking show up and do something now. You got an absolute stud. You better do something, man. They're paying you good money. Not Micah Parsons money, but they're paying you good money. You've never had double-digit sacks in your career. You better do something now.
Unbelievable. Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, host of Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's on vacation. But vacation be damned, because Micah Parsons is a Green Bay Packer.
Hey, if they trade for Justin Jefferson next, somebody call me.
Relax. Slow your roll, relax. But if that happens, Sparky, we will call you.
Yeah, sounds good. Have a good one.
All right, my friend. Talk to you later.
See ya.
Steve Sparky Pfeiffer jumps off. He's on the Nicolay. He's on the fan guest hotline powered by Gruber Law. One call. That's all. Unbelievable to hear from Sparky while on vacation. I've got a message from Mr. Mason Crosby. Mason Crosby is literally getting on a plane right now in Dallas on his way back home to Nashville. He cannot talk, but here's what he wants to say. Manage your expectations. Appreciate the Packers pushing their chips in to go get another championship. So manage your expectations, but appreciate that the Packers are pushing those chips in to go get another championship. Mason Crosby will be on the Mason Crosby Show tomorrow from 9 to 11. Andy Herman was in downtown Chicago. If you follow him on Twitter, and I just talked to him during the break, Andy Herman was on his way to the Oasis concert in Chicago, turned around. He is now on his way back home to Green Bay. He's going to try to call in. He's on a million calls at once. He's talking to everybody from Pack A, everybody from Cheesehead TV, everybody from Locked On Packers, everybody from Acme Packing Company, everybody from all the podcasts, because Andy Herman is the podcast king of the Midwest and the Green Bay Packers. But he's going to try to fit us in this hour as well. Tommy Wartz is on his way back to the studio because we're going to carry this thing past 5 o'clock because there's not enough to talk about. But if you need to talk about it, if you need to celebrate, if you need to share your emotions, 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250 is the phone number. It is the text line. My phone is blowing up. I've got all my buddies from high school. Like, I've got Adam and Barry and Scott and Steve and Josh. They're all just like texting, oh my gosh, is this real? How is this even possible? How can they afford it? How can this happen? And I'm right there because I don't believe it either. Like, I don't believe it. I know it happened. I still don't believe that the Green Bay Packers got Micah Parsons. It doesn't compute in my brain, Charlie.
As many people know, I'm a Chicago Bears fan, as well as following the Packers now that I'm here. But when the Bears traded for Khalil Mack for essentially the same kind of package that the Packers are sending to Dallas right now, because again, I assume there's probably going to be some other picks in this, some other kind of swaps in there. I still wasn't as flabbergasted as I am right now. Like, that was really cool. That was probably the biggest trade I've ever seen.
Yep.
This feels just like another level on top of that.
And Khalil Mack was that trade, and Reggie White was that free agency signing. That was the biggest move in Green Bay Packers history before this one. Obviously, Charles Woodson was a very big one as well. Not quite as big because he was on the tail end of his career. Micah Parsons is 26 years old. You've got to be kidding me. Let's go to John in Franklin. John, you're on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line.
Somebody pinch me, Thunder. Pinch me,
right,
brother.
Right?
I get into my truck. I've had a rough day.
I hear you, buddy.
I get in my truck, and you're reading the letter or whatever statement that Micah made,
had clearly pre-written, because that was posted 6 minutes after the breaking news. So that was clearly already written.
Dude, I'm like listening, and I'm like, they're not doing like some like crazy promo or something. What are they doing? I'm like, is this real? And then you start talking, and I just about drove off the road. This is almost as big as the Reggie White move. The only thing that made Reggie bigger is when he came, the Packers hadn't done anything in 30 years.
Right.
This is right there. Brian Gutekunst has channeled his inner Ron Wolf. And that's high praise.
Yes, it
high
is.
Praise.
John, this is unbelievable, right?
Yeah. This makes us a contender.
Yes.
We haven't won a damn thing yet.
That's right.
This makes us a contender. And Thunder, I always say, make the moves that the teams in your division don't want you to make.
All the emotions. John, thanks for the call.
Thank you.
Yep, absolutely. John drops off, and unbelievable. Now we got to go to the man himself, the one, the only, Mr. Pack-A-Day, Andy Herman, on his way back from Chicago rush hour traffic, which is the absolute worst. He's the absolute best. Chicago traffic, the absolute worst, because Chicago's the absolute worst, because Green Bay's the absolute best, because Micah Parsons, despite us being 100% sure that this was just fantasy football fairyland talk, the Green Bay Packers have acquired Micah Parsons. Andy, this is insane. I still don't believe it.
Yeah, I don't have words at the moment. I feel useless at the moment. I am literally stuck in rush hour traffic in Chicago. Was supposed to go to Oasis. I'm on my way home. We've got emergency podcasts, emergency radio shows. Pets' heads are falling off. Everything's happening, Mitch. It's all amazing.
Yeah, when we were talking about this morning, you and Tommy were talking about it, and I remember walking in the halls here saying to myself, I'm not talking about Micah Parsons today, because this is just fantasy football talk. There's no way there's reality. There's no way the Cowboys are even ready to trade him. There's no way anything's happening till next week at the earliest. And there's no way it's going to be the Packers, because the Packers just don't give up first-round draft picks. There's no way any of this makes sense in any logical world. And Micah Parsons is a Green Bay Packer.
It certainly was one of those things that you had to believe it to see it to believe it. And I was in that same camp all the way along. I've heard some of the things that I've heard in the recent days led me to believe that this was more than just your usual, the Cowboys are using Green Bay for leverage, or Micah Parsons' agent is using Green Bay for leverage.
Yep.
The stuff I was hearing from so many different people that was so similar to one another from different sources was legitimately unique. I'd never had anything quite like that. And so even with all of that, Mitch, even with stuff coming to me that like seems so true and so realistic, I'm like, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it, because this is just not what Goody does. This is just not what the Packers do. 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark going to Dallas, Micah Parsons coming to Green Bay. It still doesn't feel real. I may have gone through some crazy portal in the nexus of the universe, crossing over from Wisconsin to Chicago.
Yeah,
I still don't know that I believe it myself.
What do you feel about that compensation? 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark.
Yeah, so a couple things. First of all, you do that all day, every day.
Yes.
All right, so you acquire Micah to be a Super Bowl contender. You are hoping that is going to be picks in the 30s, not the 20s, in the 30s when you are making that type of deal. There's no guarantee that will happen, but that's certainly your thinking when you go into that. So you're trading 2 late first-round picks And is Kenny Clark an interesting compensation? Yes, for a couple of reasons. One, when you trade for Micah Parsons, there are downsides that come with this. Part of that downside is compensation, money, etc. You've now made him the highest paid defensive player in the league.
Yep.
Two players next year that you almost certainly would have had to say goodbye to because of said contract that you're giving out to Micah Parsons are Kenny Clark and Elton Jenkins.
Yep.
Now, there's always ways to finagle some things here and there, but Kenny Clark was probably going to have to be a cap casualty next year simply because that you're trading, making this deal for Micah. So you're kind of getting ahead of it right now, saving some additional money by Dallas taking him on and making it so that you actually use him as a piece that helps you get Micah rather than just probably having to release him next year. Now, in the meantime, defensive tackle becomes much more interesting. You still have 5 on the roster. You've got Wyatt, you've got Brooks, you've got Wooden, but Colby Wooden probably now a starter next to Devontae Wyatt. Brooks and Stackhouse are probably backing them up. It just becomes a much more interesting position. You're certainly giving up some run defense for some pass rush, but this is trading a player who had been declining in Kenny Clark, who you're probably going to have to release next year, plus a couple first-round picks for arguably the best defender in football, and certainly somebody that's in that conversation. You have to do that. This is like the opportunity to get Dame Lillard. Sometimes it's not going to work out. Like the Dame thing didn't work out. It might not with Mike as well. You just have to do it in this scenario. I credit Green Bay for going and having the gumption and guts and bravery to do it.
Andy Herman, a host of Pack a Day Radio, joining us on the fan guest line, powered by Gruber Law, one called That's All. Sparky jumped on and we talked about how excited we are to see Micah Parsons with those young linebackers, with Edgerrin Cooper and with Quay Walker. But the name that really stuck out to us as the guy who has a real opportunity to make some hay now is Rashawn Gary. With all the attention that Micah Parsons should have, what opportunity and what pressure is there on Rashawn Gary to finally be the player we've all wanted him to be?
Yeah, I think the beautiful thing about this is that Micah Parsons is going to be a force multiplier, and he's going to help so many people on this defense. If you were concerned about the secondary and the cornerback group, well, guess what? The quarterback's clock just got a whole heck of a lot quicker because you have Micah Parsons up on that defensive front. If you want to add him to a double A-gap blitz with Edgerrin Cooper, that's going to make Edgerrin Cooper feel even faster because you got to keep an eye on Micah Parsons first coming up that A-gap, and now Edgerrin Cooper is coming right after him. That's going to help him. This is going to help Rashawn Gary and LVN. They're going to get far less attention on the opposite side of Micah Parsons. Rashawn Gary is going to get one-on-ones rather than the double teams and the chips and everything that he is used to getting. He is going to benefit from this. So this is one of those things that, I trust Jeff Hafley unequivocally to be able to utilize a player like this that is so special, that can do so many different things. And on top of that, now you have Rashawn Gary. I didn't want to see Green Bay give up Rashawn Gary or LVN in this deal because what you're trying to do is make a pass rush that can get there. I've talked about it this offseason. Having a top 10 at worst, probably top 8, top 5-ish pass rush in the playoffs is a prerequisite to being a Super Bowl contender. You have to be able to get there with 4. The smoke and mirrors will only get you so far. You're going to see the best of the best quarterbacks and offenses on your way to the Super Bowl, and you had better have people up front that can get there with 4 guys. They're knowing what you're going to do. You know what you're going to do. You're saying, hey, we are bringing Rashawn Gary, LVN, Micah Parsons, pick whoever else you want, Devontae Wyatt, and we're going to bring those 4. We've already seen LVN get a little bit of time as a situational pass rusher on the inside. You're going to see those 4 in a NASCAR sort of pass rush situation. By the way, Edgerrin Cooper is going to be bluffing a blitz. Quay Walker's probably going to be bluffing a blitz. Good luck figuring that out. And then they're going to come with 4 anyway, and you know exactly what's coming. You're not going to be able to stop it. That is going to help everyone on that defense. And this, to me, catapults from a really fun story last year as a top 10 defense to someone that has a legitimate chance to be a top 5, top 3, maybe even, Mitch, a top 1 defense in the NFL because of this trade.
Andy, take your Pack-A-Day radio hat off. Take your Pack-A-Day podcast hat off. Take your Packers reporter hat off. Put your fan hat on. What are you feeling right now?
Oh, it's jubilation. Again, I think these are once in a lifetime. They don't come along very often, especially as Packer fans, right? We sat through missing out on Tony Gonzalez and Jason Taylor, Randy Moss. We can go on and on. Khalil Mack. So many of the players that the Packers were in the conversations until the very end, and then it just never happened. We've also seen Reggie White come to Green Bay. We've seen Charles Woodson to maybe a slightly lesser extent, guys like Josh Jacobs and Xavier McKinney, right? Like these are fun, free agent signings. these are ones that just do not come along very, very often. And when something like this happens, it's really difficult to not be excited. I think the price was appropriate. I think giving up 2 first-round picks is certainly understanding. And I think, again, giving up Kenny Clark, giving him the contract that he deserves. And you're in a situation when you have Micah Parsons, you are blessed to be able to give him that contract. You're excited to be able to give him that contract because that means that Micah Parsons is on your team for the foreseeable future. That is an exciting aspect of this, not a downside of having to give him that deal. They get to give him that deal.
It is absolutely unbelievable. Andy Herman, hosts the Pack-A-Day podcast, Pack-A-Day radio show, Monday through Friday, 8 to 9, right here on The Fan, is with us right now on the Gruber Law Hotline. Andy, drive safe. We can't wait to see all the content you pump out tonight, tomorrow morning, and it is must-listen radio tomorrow, 8 a.m., as you fire up your show in the morning. Sorry about the Oasis concert, buddy.
Hey, we'll survive. I will gladly take a trade of Oasis for Micah Parsons. And I don't know if you're going to have a show tomorrow with Mason. I might just take over the entire day tomorrow. Just talking
keep going,
Micah Parsons for 12 hours.
Because I actually was planning on being a little late tomorrow because there's a special thing at my kid's school. So if you want to stay on for an extra half hour, you go right ahead and we'll just make it all flow seamlessly. Andy, thanks so much for the call, buddy.
Appreciate it. Have a good one, Mitch.
Absolutely. That's Andy Herman, host of Pack-A-Day Radio, right here on The Fan, 1250 AM, 105.7 FM, The Fan, free on the Odyssey app. 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. Pop on your thoughts. Micah Parsons for 2 firsts and Kenny Clark, the Green Bay Packers. I still don't believe it. I just don't believe it. You can't convince me that this is real life. You can't convince me that this happened. I just don't believe that this is real. It is, I don't know. Tommy just came in from outside. Tommy, what's it like outside?
It's doing all right. It's doing all right right now. All
right. That's your weather report. He just nailed the weather report. That is brought to you by Utke Heating and Cooling. It's in the 70s, and it's going to be down to the 60s tonight. And it's getting a little cloudy, but we'll be okay. We'll be back after this. Tommy Wartz is in the studio. Charlie's taking your calls, 414-677-1250. Dial it up. Get your texts in, tweets in at The Fan Milwaukee. This is Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. This is Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. My name is Mitch Nelles, a.k.a. Thunder. And if you don't know, now you know. Micah Parsons is a Green Bay Packer. Yes, I did not stutter. Yes, this is not a recording. This is live on Thursday, August 28th, 2025 at 4:41 p.m. Micah Parsons is a Green Bay Packer. And while I said it would never happen, and I still don't believe it was going to happen, this gentleman, from the first rumor passed along 7 years ago, or 7 weeks ago, or 7 minutes ago, or whatever it was, this gentleman believed it from the very start. Tommy Wartz had faith.
What more can you ask for than just to have faith in certain situations? And Micah Parsons, if he didn't come to Green Bay, you were going to be a fan of the Packers regardless this season. Now that he is here, you all can rejoice. I will not dance. I will not take a victory lap around you guys. Let's all just be excited and happy to have said that we lived here to happen. And P.S. I told you, I knew he would be here.
Absolutely unbelievable. Tommy Wartz with us in the fan studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. And from the second the first rumor came out, Tommy decided to lean into it. Tommy decided to say, this could happen. This could be reality.
Well, now look at it, Mitch, right? They saved so much money this year in which they did not allocate it towards free agents, right?
Yes, yep.
And everyone was really underwhelmed with the free agency performance from Green Bay this offseason. This looks like now Brian Gutekunst was trying to work something out. Once he heard wind of it, he knew that Green Bay, from a salary cap position, which they're now freeing up $10 million away from trading away Kenny Clark, and as you heard with Andy Herman, he was probably going to be a cut casualty next year anyway.
But if he was on the team for the whole season, it would have been $28 million.
And now you get that much. I think they had $35 million and plus in cap room.
No.
Well, you get the $45 million contract right there with Micah Parsons.
Right there.
Just a beautiful move from Brian Gutekunst. I couldn't be I'm not shocked, because this is now like, has anyone mentioned Ed Policy yet during this whole stretch?
Some people have texted and tweeted in giving him props.
What a move from Ed Policy. I mean, a month into being now the president here of the Green Bay Packers, and this is how your legacy gets to start. What a move from him, too.
262 texts in to the Nicolay Law Fan Talking Text Club, 414-677-1250. Does Jeff Halfley even know what to do? Like, what does he do? Like, he's got so many. Sparky and I were talking about this, too. He's got so many toys to play with now. Like, how do you, like, if you got all the G.I. Joes and all the Transformers and all the Voltron and all the Thundercats and all the Gummy Bears and all the Care Bears, you got them all to play with, and all the Legos. You got them all.
The comparison as well, and we got Charlie using here too. The Bears trade versus the Khalil Mack trade versus the Micah Parsons trade, right? So Khalil Mack and a second-round pick and a conditional fifth-round pick to Chicago. In return, Oakland got a 2019 first-round pick, a 2020 first-round pick, a third-round pick in 2020, and a sixth-round pick in 2019.
Okay.
Green Bay to get Micah Parsons, 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark.
I'll take it.
Feels like a steal when you compare it against those two.
26-year-old Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
Not 29.
And
not
4 more years of him on that, too.
2 years left on that original deal. Like, this is just crazy.
I mean, $188 million, $136 guaranteed. Absolutely unbelievable.
You know what else?
What else?
Everyone who was mad that Jordan Love got an extension, you are all wrong now, too, because this is the only way this happens with Melgata representing both of them. Jordan Love had to play a pretty instrumental part in this, and I chose to believe because of that, too. You knew Love and Parsons were already friends, and they did podcasting and whatever together, a couple of live shows. and I'm sure he was in his ear.
No, love manifested this to happen.
Well,
like love,
and you know what else is great?
Love thought on this. It's like Mrs. Thunder got an air fryer at Goodwill because she said, we need an air fryer. I'm going to think on it every day, and it's going to show up. Jordan Love, every day before he went to bed, just said, Micah Parsons is going to come to Green Bay. And then he went to sleep, and he slept very well. And guess how he's going to sleep tonight after he finishes partying with his friend Micah Parsons? He's going to sleep very well.
Well, I would like to think that. Did you think that any trade would be bigger than the Luka Doncic trade?
I mean,
this year?
How about Dallas?
Like,
how about Dallas?
Dallas
Luka and
gave
Micah.
up Luka and Micah Parsons in the same calendar year.
If you're a Dallas fan, do you just quit? Are you just done?
I would boycott.
414-677-1250. 414-677-1250. I don't know if I want to call him the second host, the co-host of Wisconsin Sports Weekend, the promo team extraordinaire. He helps me out whenever I'm out on the road. Jack Pembroke joins us. Jack, how you feeling, my brother?
Oh, I don't have children, but this has got to be close to having your first kid.
Wow, I love it. I mean, can you believe what's going on right now?
No, my brother lives in Delaware, Philadelphia area, and he's married to an Eagles fan. And they were telling me that they were going to get him in some, trade. And I was like, yeah, that's never going to happen. But it's randomly my niece's birthday, and my brother was crying as I was texting him this. And his daughter asked him, "Are you crying because of my birthday?" And he had to lie and say yes.
Yeah, because he's just so happy.
No, he is. My brother is a diehard Micah Parsons fan and a diehard Packer fan, and he's had to live too long in Eagles territory. It reminds me a lot. I'm young. I'm old enough to remember when Reggie White played for the Packers. Kind of looks like a Reggie White 2.0. Tommy's very smart in saying at how cheap we were able to get him. I never thought you'd be able to just give up 2 first-rounders and a live player. So,
right, and a declining player, not just a live player. They didn't have to give up Edgerrin Cooper. We talked about it earlier today, Tommy. What if it's 2 number ones in Edgerrin Cooper? And I thought, all right, well, I don't. And Charlie, you threw that question out to me yesterday, and I thought I don't like that. Like, I'd rather it be Quay Walker. You give him Quay Walker. You don't give him Edgerrin Cooper because I want to see Micah and Edgerrin Cooper together. Well, as Sparky just called up, we've got Micah and Edgerrin Cooper, and we've got Rashawn Gary and LVN on the other side, who now it's time for them to put up or shut up. Because with Micah Parsons on the other side, all of a sudden their job should be cake. All of a sudden their jobs should be the easiest job in the history of the NFL. You get to rush the passer on the other side of Micah Parsons, just absolutely destroying fools left and right.
To me, Rashawn's got to get over 10 sacks this year for that. For him to show me he's taking.
And I think he will be. If he plays full-time, I think he will be. Jack, thanks for the call. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Thank you, brother.
Most all-time guaranteed contracts here in Green Bay Packers history. In case you guys were wondering, the Jordan Love contract, $160 million guaranteed. Aaron Rodgers, $151 million guaranteed. Micah Parsons, $136 million guaranteed. It is the second highest contract ever given out in Green Bay Packer history, only behind Jordan Love's 4-year, $220 million. Micah Parsons, 4 years, 188, bigger than Aaron's 3-year, 151.
For 1 minute, Tommy, TJ Watt was not happy in Pittsburgh, right? And then they paid him, and he became the highest paid player, defensive player in football, $41 million a year, I believe he is. TJ Watt's how old?
Probably close to 30.
Right, I think he's 29.
Yeah, probably close to 30, 31.
I know that he's number 2 now, and Micah Parsons at $6 million more a year is a significant number. Like at TJ Watt at 41, I think could they have gotten Micah at 42 or 43 or 44 or 45? But at 47 gets him here as a 26-year-old with the amount of production he has left. I think this again is a no-brainer.
Yeah, and I also want to say that I don't want to necessarily be in the boat. I heard Andy Herman say he's one of the best defensive players in the league. I don't. That seems a little high for me. Okay, and I do think that TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, both want to be in that conversation as top edge rushers right now. But I do think that Micah Parsons can easily be in that argument for a top 5 edge rusher. And now where does Rashawn Gary go, like you said, as the secondary rusher? Like, is he one of the best secondary rushers in the NFL at this point? Green Bay investing so much in copycatting Philly like almost to a T in this offseason, right? Yep. Philly won last year based on their trenches. It was on the offensive side. It was on the defensive side.
They blew everybody away from their offensive line, and their defensive line got to the quarterback with 4.
Now, Green Bay has a new revamped offensive line where they are bringing in more meaty guys. They have Aaron Banks. Elton Jenkins moves inside. Left tackle, it's going to be Jordan Morgan now after all of this news, right?
Yeah.
And then on the other side, ramping up the pass rushing. And now it makes way more sense why they kept 6 defensive tackles too on that 53-man roster. That makes way more sense. I thought that was a big number. I had said that as well with Andy on Pack-A-Day Radio, but now it makes way more sense. And they needed to trade. It needed to be Kenny Clark. It sounded like for money reasons. I can't believe they get to keep Lucas Van Ness and Rashawn Gary from this. Yep. I think Van Ness is going to see a lot more action at like a 3 tech now too, because of what they've tried to do with him in the past. It can only help everyone else on that defensive front.
414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. Jeff is in Greendale. Jeff, you are on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line on the Fan. What do you got for us, Jeff?
Hey, good afternoon, gentlemen.
To you as well. No. It's not a good afternoon. It's a great afternoon.
Absolutely. And I'll admit it. I was probably like the millions of others. Nah, this didn't really happen. Just like everyone else. Didn't think it was going to happen. I did think he was not going to play for Dallas again. I shouldn't think he was going to be in Green Bay.
Same. So I agree with that.
So it's like, okay, whatever. But my son said it. I was like, whoa. Then I had to follow up. I'm like, sure enough, he's coming. And part of it, I think I told Charlie was as he was screening, and hopefully I got it right. But I think part of this trade doesn't happen if they don't have a strong feeling for that undrafted tackle from Georgia, Stackhouse.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's part of it. Absolutely. Yep.
And this kid even is solid. I'm not even saying all pro, but just a solid tackle that maybe gets, let's say, 2 to 3 sacks, but it can be a disruptor. I think they've seen that in this kid and are like, let's just do it. Let's give him Kenny Clark.
Yeah, and Jeff, I mean, now it's not even really Stackhouse's role to get to the quarterback. They just want a guy that can stuff the run game now.
Exactly. Or just make the quarterback uneasy back there.
Yeah.
To move him out towards Parson or Gary or Van Ness. Just have him out of the pocket, uncomfortable. And if he could do that, I'll be happy. From a rookie like that.
Yep.
And the other thing I'll have to say I'll ask is, and I'll hang up because I know you probably got other calls, is with this, God, I just totally got sidetracked. Holy cow, this stinks when you're 56.
It does, but it's all joy. You're sidetracked because you're so filled with joy.
Oh, yes, I am. And I think, Parsons, that's what I was going to say. Parsons starts out slow. I am fine with that because he's learning the system. And even if you say he has a solid year, I'm fine with it. Meaning, let's say normally he's a double digit. I love to see double digit, but let's just say he gets 8 to 9. He's going to be a disruptor. And this is what this defense needs in there to make that quarterback disruptive that other guys can step up. And if he does that in his first year, I think it'll be great. And I think it was a steal. That's what I was going to ask. That was the question. See, just give me enough time.
You got it. You got there.
And, but no, 2 first-round picks only. I think that's huge. And I challenge anyone and myself, because I had to think about it, in the past 15, 10, or even 5 years, give us a first-round pick that has impacted this team, helped this team, done anything big for this team in a first-round pick.
Like what MICAH Parsons can do. Thanks for the call, Jeff. Yep. And their first-round picks have made an impact.
Oh, yeah.
But not, what MICAH Parsons, what the expectation of what he can do and what he can do for his teammates. Like, I love what Jeff said. If MICAH Parsons needs some time to get into shape, whatever's going on, gets 8 or 9 sacks, but it means Rashawn Gary gets 12 and LVN gets 8 and Edrin Cooper has 5 interceptions.
It's just not a lot of capital they gave up either. Right. Like 2 first-round picks. I understand they're first-round picks, but that's it. They didn't have to. Goody loves this day 2 and day 3 picks way more than he loves his day 1 picks at this point. He was stocking them up for years now at this point. Laramie Tunsil, Jamal Adams, Khalil Mack, Deshaun Watson, Jay Cutler, Ricky Williams, all of those players I just named, more draft picks were traded for to acquire those players over the years, and the Packers get 26-year-old MICAH Parsons.
414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. No Sparky today. I'm here, Mitch Thunder Nelles. Tommy Wartz is here. Charlie Usen's always here because that's what he does. If you love Wendy's classic chocolate and vanilla frosty flavors, there's some big news. There are all new Frosty Swirls and Frosty Fusions. Same creamy treat you've always loved, now with a flavor refresh. So what are these new flavors? Well, the Swirls are strawberry brownie batter and caramel. The Fusions are Oreo brownie, caramel crunch, and Pop-Tart strawberry. Clock in for sweet treat time with Wendy's all new Frosties flavors. A refresh on a classic. Gotta be Wendy's. We will be right back with more reaction all over Twitter, all over texting, all over Facebook, all over your calls as well. Tommy, what do you got?
The Cubs lost too.
Oh, thank
Shut
goodness.
up, dude.
Thank goodness.
Shut up.
I love life.
Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. Every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, served up by Wendy's on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan. Download the Wendy's app today.
Let's go! Woo! This is Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Yeah, we usually sign off at 5, but not today.
God, Charlie's so sad. Dude.
I know it's you know it actually
my God.
he is, but he's not. Like he's trying to
like
pretend
it's cool.
like he's sad,
Yeah,
but he's
man.
actually like he
gave me a stank.
When
He totally did.
But when he started
I'm
working
sorry,
here,
Charlie.
he was like, He was like, all Cubs, all Bears, hate the Packers, hate the Brewers. And now he's like, man, I kind of like the Brewers and the Packers. I can be a fan of two teams. I can be happy with these.
I'm still not a fan of the Packers.
No,
Let's get that straight. I'm not a fan of the Packers. I'm a fan of the Brewers. I'll give you that.
Okay.
I am a fan of the Brewers. I'm not a fan of the Packers, but this is just like cool football moment, like history to be a part of. I got to break that news on this station. That's just the coolest moment ever.
Oh, man.
Nick writes in on YouTube, Reggie White equivalent. Q says, hopefully. Nick says, Luke Van Ness going to pop off. And then B. Hancher and David both say, go Pack, Packathon, let's go. Did you know that Micah Parsons was offered a football scholarship after just 4 games of his freshman season at Penn State? That's not crazy. As a senior, he had 1,200 rushing yards, 27 rushing touchdowns, and 2 receiving touchdowns. He also played varsity basketball. He played defensive end and running back. Right. He played everything. Micah Parsons, if you missed the news, is a Green Bay Packer, 2 first-round picks, and Kenny Clark. And I think Mason Crosby, who's on a plane right now, when we texted with him as he was getting onto the plane, and he's excited to be on the show tomorrow morning, the Mason Crosby show, 9 to 11. He was a little surprised about the Kenny Clark edition. And you got to remember, there's a little bit, he has a personal relationship with Kenny Clark. Like, they are friendly. And like to see your buddy get traded is a little bit different than from a fan perspective when we are just like, okay, like this makes sense salary wise. And this makes sense from a production. Kenny Clark was way down last year. Yeah, he was hurt. Yeah, he might respond this year. He might be Kenny Clark of old, but Micah Parsons tilts the field. Kenny Clark's a really nice player to have. That is not the same. That's not the same universe that they are playing in as Micah Parsons is a Green Bay Packer. 414-677-1250 is the phone number. That's the Nicolay Law Fan talk and text line. 414-677-1250. Let's go to Jay in Whitefish Bay. Jay, you are on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's.
Gentlemen, I don't want to suggest that you're degenerates, but you better get down to the Potawatomi Sportsbook before those futures odds get way out of control.
Not a bad suggestion, Mr. J, Mr. Potawatomi.
I'm just saying. Tommy, get out of there.
Look,
it's time to leave Hales Corners.
Jay, today was my day off, Jay. Like I call day baseball the day off days because I get to go home at a reasonable time, and then I get a call from Sparky immediately,
who's actually on vacation,
who was like, do you want to go in? And I was like, well, yeah, I mean, if we're gonna want to stay on a little longer. He's like, no, it's your call. Like, no, don't try to say it's my call.
Hold on.
We are going in, we're gonna talk about this, and I wish you would have called me first, Jay, because I would have stopped over there. Do you guys have new odds on it already?
I don't know, but it's one of the first 2 things I thought about when I heard this news was Packers fans are going to lose their mind with futures bets.
NFL futures. I just clicked on it right now. Is Green Bay still plus 1,400 for the Super Bowl? Green Bay's third at plus 650 for the NFC Championship. And the NFC North, actually, it's more that the Lions have dropped. The Lions were plus 150 and the Packers were plus 180. The Packers are still plus 180, but the Lions are up to plus 175. So I assume the money's evening out that way. But the Packers, I mean, you can get plus 180 to win their division. $100 gets you 180 right now in the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Let's go. All right, Tommy, Charlie, you guys got the show. I got to get on the road. I got to get to the casino.
I actually have a real question besides telling you guys that you're degenerates.
We already know.
The other thing that I thought of when I heard this news was how much of a tightwad conservative was Mark Murphy? Is it coincidence that a huge trade like this happens the first year Murphy's gone?
I think it was more Ted Thompson. I mean, Ted Thompson was famous for never engaging in this. And whether it was Tony Gonzalez or Randy Moss or numerous other players that the Packers could have been in on and were in on until a certain point and then were out on, Ted Thompson was, Ted Thompson was notorious. And he got the Packers the Super Bowl in 2010, and that's great. But then for 6 or 7 years was absolutely negligent in doing his job. I don't know that Mark Murphy was as fiscally conservative. I know he loved getting all the money he got from stock sales and building up Packerland and all those sorts of things. But he did, he was there when they brought in Preston Smith and Zadarius Smith, which wasn't this kind of money. It wasn't this kind of deal, but it was money. He was there when Josh Jacobs and Xavier McKinney were brought in. So he wasn't, to make a trade like this is a generational trade that I think it's more coincidental that it's Ed Policy and not Mark Murphy than timing wise. I think Ted Thompson is the one who really had put a stamp on the organization that this never would have happened under Ted Thompson. But now with Gutekunst and with Policy, it really is a new regime in Green Bay.
I wish you would have gone conspiracy theory with me, but it's okay. And one last thing, Charlie, I'm sorry about our Cubs, especially since Adames hit 2 home runs today.
Right, of course. It has to be Adames.
Love you, Willie. All right, Jay, thanks for the call. 414, you bet. 414-677-1250 is the phone number. Line them up, 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Fan talking text line. Your thoughts on the Green Bay Packers acquiring Micah Parsons. And we've talked about the D-line. We talked about the linebackers. We haven't really talked about how much this helps the cornerbacks and the safeties. And we're a little leery about the cornerback situation right now. Nate Hobbs' injury does not make us feel good. Keyshawn Nixon as the number 1 does not make us feel great. Well, when quarterbacks have less time to pick apart a secondary, that makes everybody better. And I think that's going to be another one of the pluses that Micah Parsons brings to this team, Tommy, is that when Micah Parsons is on that field, and if Rashawn Gary and LVN are doing what they can do, the cornerbacks don't have to be quite as good as we thought they needed to be, because the quarterbacks are going to be under pressure more than they would have before this trade was made.
Yeah, and I just think that you got another guy that it's just a win now move. And it shows, like, look at what the Bucks did when they went out and they tried to make a move for Damian Lillard, right? Yep. When they made the move for Damian Lillard, right? And every move after that from John Horst, you could tell it was a move that with the intent was to get the team better, always to improve the team based on those moves. There was never really a sell move until you saw Kuzma come around. Then the Kuzma move, everyone was a little underwhelmed, but then it worked out to, again, now going out and getting Miles Turner this last offseason. It is now just a mindset of the general management team to go out and make moves with intents to get better now. And that's what Green Bay has also solidified their mindset as, is they are making moves with the intent to win championships. It is not the intent just to get better. It is the intent to compete for championships. And a move like this from Micah Parsons in his prime, and really didn't give up any draft capital that is going to be of value if it works out immediately for them.
And I think that's, such a culture change, right? For the Green Bay Packers from what we're used to, is making that win now move, is making that move that to try, you say all in, but I don't know that this is a everything right now move, but it's not an all in move. Like 2 first rounders and Kenny Clark, like going all in to me would have been, and they gave up a 3rd and a 5th and a Quay Walker.
Oh my gosh.
And which would have been an acceptable price for Micah Parsons.
Yeah. I think that everyone's got to look at it at least with those lenses right now. It's just, this could have been a much bigger haul and everyone would have been satisfied with it. Kenny Clark has some name value to him for sure.
Absolutely.
But again, it's a declining player. He was a veteran with the team. He was one of, I believe, only 4 players that was 29 or older on the team as well for Green Bay. Another tweet coming out here from Adam Schefter. Micah Parsons is one of 2 players in NFL history to have 12 sacks in each of his first 4 seasons. The other one Reggie White.
I love that. Q writes in on YouTube. Remember, we are live on YouTube at The Fan Milwaukee. That's youtube.com/@TheFanMilwaukee. Have the @sign in there. He says, is this Micah's team now? Is Micah the clear best player on the roster? So I would say, no, it's not Micah's team, but Micah's part of the leadership council. LaFleur was asked that in his press conference today. We listened to that, Tommy, right?
Yeah.
About Jordan and about Josh and about Elton and about Kenny Clark was mentioned in that. I think Micah goes on that council now. But I think in the NFL, I think your quarterback is still your guy. Like Jordan Love is still the highest paid player on this team. Jordan Love is still the quarterback of this team. Is Micah Parsons on the leadership council. 100% he is on the leadership council. Is this Micah Parsons' team? No, I don't believe that a 26-year-old gets traded for as good as Micah Parsons did, and it's his team. It's not the NBA. That's how things work in the NBA. Like, you're an all-NBA player and you get traded, it becomes your team. I think NFL is more of a team sport than that.
But I will say this now. How many, if there is like a leadership team for the Green Bay Packers, like, it feels like almost more of them are on the defensive side than on the offensive side for Green Bay. We have Xavier McKinney for Green Bay, the safety, obviously. I think Edgerrin Cooper is going to get to that level based on his production and what we have seen. I don't know if he's necessarily all the way there, but they expect Rashawn Gary to be that leader. They now have Gary, Micah Parsons as that leader. And maybe even to an extent, again, not necessarily because of his production, like, they trusted Keyshawn Nixon a lot this last offseason. This is now a lot of the leadership is based on the defense. When it comes to the offensive side, you got Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, Elton Jenkins. Like, after that, and I guess Zach Tom now after you pay him too. But
maybe
they have really.
Why did he get in a fight every game? Why is he fighting? Why is he so mad?
Now Micah Parsons at least gets to have Zach Tom on the side of his fights right now. I think that it's just the main comparison has to be the Khalil Mack trade. And you're talking about a trade for a player that had the same level of production and had the same level of hype when he was getting traded. And the Packers come away looking
their
like
offense was way worse. Yeah. And he did get the Bears to the playoffs.
That trade happened on September 1st, I believe, too, when that went down. So the Packers even a little bit earlier on that. And now, I mean, I don't know what the difference is in learning a playbook on the defensive side versus the offensive side. But as far as can Micah Parsons be ready for September 7th to be productive enough and play a majority of the snaps? I think it should be absolutely based on what we saw when Khalil Mack got traded so close to an NFL start to the season.
Well, I think a lot of that will depend on what we saw yesterday on Twitter, him at the airport going for a second opinion on his back. I assume all the medicals came back clean because you don't make a trade like this without the medicals coming back clean. But I do wonder what he'll need to get back into shape. I assume we'll see him on the field in 9 days, but I don't know. I don't know that I don't expect 100% prime Micah Parsons, but I expect a really good player. Cornelius's Rain writes in on YouTube, Ed Policy with that big Ed energy. Look at that, Ed Policy getting some love. Q is on the north side, 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. Q, what's up, my friend?
What's up, Q?
I know whose team this is. This is Ed Policy's team.
Ooh, you're not wrong.
He turned up the heat by not signing Goody and LaFleur in their lame duck season, or giving them extensions right before their lame duck season. I give Ed Policy's my MVP. So I am so excited. I've been very hard on Gutekunst all offseason and many before this. And I say burn the picks. Like, he doesn't do very good job with the first round anyways. Like, in my opinion, we should, don't stop here. Trade the 28 and 29 first round picks for a good receiver, and this roster's all set.
Just go get Justin Jefferson.
I mean, we're done. Do you think the Rams regret trading away all their picks for a Super Bowl? No shot, right? You get one out of it. They don't care about it. Yeah, I totally get what you're saying, Q.
I honestly think we are. So I think this makes us favorites in the NFC North.
Yep.
Clearly, but I do hope that we can find some way to shore up the offense. I still have some concerns there, but it's a good thing that Mark Murphy's going into the Packers Hall of Fame tonight, because after this move, we're going to be saying, who the heck was Mark Murphy? Because Ed Policy is the man. Later, guys.
Later, Q.
Thanks, Q.
An unbelievable move for sure by Ed Policy, okaying or signing off or whatever he needs to do for Brian Gutekunst to make this move. An amazing move for Brian Gutekunst to put his stamp on the organization. I don't think this has anything to do with Gutekunst and LaFleur feeling the heat of being in a lame duck year, but I do think that there is a renewed focus on winning a Super Bowl in Green Bay after a decade plus of the playoffs are good enough. The playoffs are good enough. A home playoff game is really nice, but the playoffs are good enough. The playoffs aren't good enough right now. And if Jordan Love And so much of this will fall on Jordan Love. If Jordan Love is the player we think he can be and can step up to that next level, he takes care of that question Q had about the offense, and this team takes care of itself.
Oh, yeah, I like that angle too. Now how much pressure comes to Jordan Love this season after a move like this? Because it seems like right now the expectation is the Packers defense is now going to be the strong point and the carrier of this season with how it gets beefed up with Micah Parsons. And now when you move everyone down, the pass rush looks really fun on paper, right? If you move everyone down a job and Micah Parsons is number one.
It's like getting an all-star closer, right? It makes your bullpen so much better.
Yes, could you imagine? Yeah, just everyone gets to move down a spot. Hey, he looks a lot better in the 8th than he did in the 9th, right? Now it's Rashawn Gary as the secondary pass rusher and Lucas Van Ness as a rotational pass rusher. I also think that this probably stirred up an argument that they weren't really sold on Lucas Van Ness, obviously, over that time frame.
Not to
find something negative to speak about with it, but again, it's a generational type player with Micah Parsons right now coming. And I do love the angle now, Mitch, of you saying Jordan Love has a lot of pressure now this season because if everything goes well and everyone's healthy on the defensive side, this is already a Packers defense that was, I believe, top 5 and top 8, something like that in total defense last season in the NFL. Now Jordan Love has to elevate, has to take that next step. I don't hate Q's logic of trying to go out and find someone to be a receiver on this team, but they have bigger problems. Like they got to figure out what number Jaden Reed's going to switch to now at this point. So that's their biggest worry in the receiver room. It feels like today, at least.
The San Francisco 49ers in 2021.
Oh, I know where this is going.
Traded 3 first-round picks to get Trey Lance in the NFL draft, to trade up and get Trey Lance 3rd overall in the NFL draft. And the Packers traded 2 to get Mike Parsons.
What do you think that Jerry Jones on the phone talking trade was like? Because again, you gotta imagine that he's not the only one in the room, right? Steven's sitting next to him, maybe someone else in there, right? And you hear Jerry negotiating, and they're just like, that's all we're gonna get. Like, go ahead, ask for one more pick, ask for anything else, please.
So
Can we get Gary and Clark, please?
Right. So I think the start was 2 number ones for sure. Let's negotiate the player. And they were probably like, oh, do you want Quay Walker? And they're like, we don't really love Quay Walker. And then it's like, oh, you want Kenny? And the Packers are on the line. Like Gutekunst is saying, hey, how about Kenny Clark? And then he puts the phone on mute, and the entire Packers room erupts in laughter.
Right.
Like, oh my gosh, because you hear Dallas like thinking about it, like Steven and Jerry, like, he's been a Pro Bowler, but he had a bad year last year. Then you go off mute and everybody, shh. No, he's healthy now. And then he put it back on mute, and everybody erupts in laughter. Then it's like, we're going to convince them to take Kenny Clark and 2 ones, and we're going to get Micah Parsons. And then finally the Joneses are like, you know what? We think Kenny Clark's a really good guy, and he's going to make, he could be really good on our defense. All right, we got to get Mike out of here. Done deal. And then like the Packers room just explodes.
Yeah, and no shade at Kenny Clark and what he did for Green Bay. No. He was a very big piece of the last. It's going to be like his 7th year with Green Bay.
And we know
8th year, maybe.
We know Mason's going to talk about that a lot tomorrow morning.
Yeah,
about the type of guy Kenny Clark is, because Mason thinks the world of Kenny Clark, as he should.
I completely understand that this is a move that you have to make if you're the Green Bay Packers. And Kenny Clark, like, we were all very disappointed in Kenny Clark last season. Every week, it felt like you were just waiting to have some sort of breakout. It turned out he was actually probably injured most of the season. Should have been he had the season and the off-season surgery as well. But Micah Parsons, man, I just still can't believe it. Even though I was the one saying I was believing, when you see that notification come across, you just didn't expect it to be like immediate, because it was, I said it this morning with Andy. It's like, I'm going to choose to believe. I'm going to choose to say that why not? Why can't Green Bay be involved in this? And everyone, being stuck with they're never going to do this because they're complacent. Like, no, get rid of that mindset. Like they have tried in the past. So now this validates probably a lot of the trying as well, where you talked with Andy and said all the guys that they tried to make a pick for, right? Tony Gonzalez, Khalil Mack, and Randy Moss, Jason Taylor, right?
Yeah.
Like they did try. They did. They couldn't get deals done. They struck, and David Malgetta.
But they didn't really try. I will still say that. Ted Thompson.
This was not the best they could have tried, though. They
didn't have to. Right. They didn't because they didn't have to.
Well, they probably were very content
because the Cowboys are idiots.
They would have tried if they were really, really trying. They would have started with a bigger offer, right? This was now a feeler to see where they were at.
Yeah.
And I think it's just such a smart move.
Is this a panic move by the Cowboys?
Like panic in what way? That just weren't going to get the deal done?
Right. Like we're not going to get fair value from MICAH. And the longer this goes on, the less we're going to get. So we got to take the first good offer we get.
Charlie, I don't know. Does any team have 2 first-round picks in the upcoming draft?
Not off the top of my head.
In the upcoming draft, does any team have 2 2026 first-round picks? I don't know where. Oh, wow. Thanks, Sparky. That was awesome.
But nothing happened. There's nothing on the stack that ran.
Well, I mean, that's radio, baby. That's all good. I'm all right with that. It's fine.
Amazing.
Yeah, it worked out perfect.
I love it. Thanks, Sparky.
He's just always on his own show, even when he's not. So he wanted us to call this WSDOT. That was not Department of Transportation, but just overtime on the end of the. Anything, Charlie?
So the Cleveland Browns have 2 first-round picks. They have this projected second overall pick, and then they have Jacksonville's first-round pick.
Okay.
The Rams have Atlanta's first-round pick as well as their own, and now the Dallas Cowboys have the Packers and their own.
So it was Atlanta and it was Cleveland. Those are the 2.
The Rams and
Cleveland. Sorry. So Rams had 2 first-round picks and Cleveland had 2 first-round picks. Cleveland probably wouldn't have ever been in on that at all, but I mean, could you imagine the Rams how they're feeling if they could have just gave up 2 first-round picks this year and then you wouldn't be affected after that?
Yeah, that would have been. You would think
it is shocking that Green Bay of all teams had the best trade value and the best trade package for Dallas. Again, it seems very reminiscent of now the Luka Doncic trade, where it's like they heard one trade offer and they were like, okay, let's do it. We can get 2 first-round picks right away back.
We need one good deal. 414-677-1250, the Nikolai Law Fan Talk and text line. TNP Walkie, formerly from lacrosse, where Sparky is now, says, Sparky, go on vacation more often. Can you believe Sparky's in lacrosse today? That's what TNP Walkie says.
Yeah.
You know what? If it takes Sparky to go on vacation for these blockbuster trades to happen for our teams, we're going to make Sparky.
Well, and Sparky's like, I'll go to lacrosse next week for a wide receiver, right? Like he is all in on that and not being on the radio for it. But just remarkable the news that we have gotten now to cover here on The Fan, and this one being on top of it now. MICAH Parsons, your newest member of the Green Bay Packers.
This is Wisconsin Sports Daily Overtime, served up by Wendy's in the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Tommy Wartz, Mitch Nelles, Charlie is in here with you. This is Wisconsin Sports Daily Overtime with Mitch Nelles, Tommy Wartz, and Charlie Usen as it is Badger pregame show. We're talking all Badgers all the time here.
Oh, man. Luke Fickell could never. Luke Fickell would have taken this trade for a 7th and a bag of Doritos. Like this is
yeah, you can have our best
gosh.
player.
Like why? Oh man.
How's Dak Prescott feeling right now? Should we get Dak Prescott on the show and just be like, hey Dak, how you feeling? Just you good? You okay? You okay, bro? You feeling good? Like what? I mean, how are the Cowboys? How are the rest of those guys?
I did see a couple of tweets. Trayvon Diggs had a heartbreak tweet out. Cavante Turpin said this blank crazy.
Did you see what Des Bryant tweeted?
Did he say,
I can't believe this. And Matt Schneidman immediately wrote back, what, that you dropped the ball? Yeah.
Well, I mean, also, I just want to say this. Like, I know we don't have any insiders really here at this station either, but like, everyone said that this was like they'll believe it when they see it. So
I still don't even believe it.
Kudos to Green Bay for keeping it under wraps a little bit because but it kind of turns out that this might have been the worst kept secret in the NFL because we were seeing rumors for this now for weeks. And to some point, it had to be said that Micah Parsons and the discussions were going on for quite some time. But the deal just seems so reactionary as well from Jerry with the lack of capital coming back to Dallas.
I think they panicked. I think they thought that the more they waited, the less they were going to get from him. My only concern there is like they know something about his medicals that nobody else knows, and they didn't. But you don't make a trade like the Packers would null out the trade before it even happened if something came back negative on the medicals about Micah Parsons. So I can't believe anything like that would happen. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. Dave is in Cudahy. Dave wants to chat at us. Dave.
Yeah, hello, gentlemen. I mean, it's just such a great day to be celebrating. I'm looking at my notes here. Badger football?
Let's go.
Yeah. Miami.
Let's go.
Miami got no chance.
Ohio going down, baby.
Yeah. I mean, come on. How are we supposed to function at all? Why do the Packers have to do this after everything?
Dave, because they want everyone to know how irrelevant Badger football is now.
Because the Badgers matter.
It does not matter.
Packers matter. Badgers don't.
It does not matter anymore to watch any Badger football. They could lose this game to Miami of Ohio now. It does not matter. The Packers come up way ahead on this. And right now, like Micah Parsons is all that matters in the state.
Yeah, it's you know what? It's pretty wild because I was already kind of preparing myself if the Badgers were to lose to begin to cry. But you know what? I'm shedding a tear now, but it's not of any sadness. It's joy. It's just tears of joy.
That's right.
Pure joy,
as it should be.
How can we not? How can we not celebrate? I popped the corks off of every champagne bottle you could possibly get, and to the people out there that are still freaking out over Kenny Clark. Kenny Clark didn't do anything for us
nobody's freaking out about Kenny Clark. Everybody's good.
It's all the people that don't get it. They don't understand. But so like this is already an upgrade in every which way. I mean, we still got to wait back on the whole back thing that's going on with Micah.
Right, but they wouldn't have made this trade if there was an issue with the back. So we know that the back is okay.
There's no reason to worry.
No,
there's no reason to worry.
That's right. And Dave, go Badgers.
Oh yeah, exactly. If you don't mind, I'm going to upset my stomach and just eat a giant wheel of cheese tonight.
I'm not even mad. I'm just impressed.
I missed what he said. I had to go work there.
He's going to eat a wheel of cheese to celebrate the Badgers tonight.
Yeah, just be careful about what it does to you after. You know that.
He knows.
So
take some lactate or something.
Yeah. I can't believe it. Can't believe it. Thanks for calling in, Dave.
Thanks, Dave. Dave drops off. 414-677-1250 is the phone number. This is absolutely unbelievable. The Green Bay Packers have. I'm still in disbelief. Nolan is in Cudahy. Nolan, you are on your Wisconsin Sports Daily Overtime, served up by Wendy's. I should probably turn your mic on. Go ahead. Start over.
I gotta say, as somebody who was upset about Jair Alexander getting released, this more than makes up for that.
Yeah, it does.
Good point.
It does.
The Packers.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Jair, like who is Jair Alexander at this point? Micah Parsons is a Green Bay Packer.
And that doesn't mean the Packers can do no wrong. Like, we are still fans of a team that does lots of things right and does lots of things wrong. And some hits are going to hit and some misses are going to miss. But to go and have the wherewithal to know that Micah Parsons is available and to throw out an offer and to have it accepted and then to laugh all the way home. And I think another part of it, Tommy, and while we're talking about that, this offer might be not the offer we were thinking. And Nolan, thanks for the call. Is that I don't know how many other teams could pay $45 million a year. Like, I don't know that there are how many other teams are in the cap area that we know the Packers already had 35 to play with.
Right.
And so for Kenny to make up the rest of it, I don't know how many other teams had, you're probably talking about 6 or 7 other teams max. There's not 20 teams out there that have that kind of money to play with.
Yeah, $47 million a year is no joke, right? And again, you get him in the prime. This is a guy, when Goody brings in free agents, right, they're always age 26, 25. It fit the profile way too well for the Packers that they were going to get a guy like Micah Parsons. Why not give him the extension? And on top of it, he had years on his deal with Dallas still. Like, they are going to be looking back at this deal. And again, it's going to be Luka Doncic representing. Like, very similar where Kenny Clark, a very solid player, but it's Anthony Davis for Luka Doncic, right? You get a guy who's on the second half over the hill in his career now to bring in a guy who is likely entering part of his prime right now and has already played like an elite level defender for the Dallas Cowboys. This is someone you bring in to make the big plays, to have the big moments, and he gets to do it immediately now. And they have him for the whole season. You just couldn't believe this would happen.
What number did the Packers draft this year?
Well, who was their pick? Matthew Golden was 22, right?
23.
I think it was 23rd.
Yep,
Okay.
he was 23rd. He wears 22, but he was pick number 23.
Okay, yeah.
And I think we all believe Matthew Golden has the potential to be special, right?
Yeah.
As your 23rd pick. Do you think over the next 2 years, the Packers will have a better first-round pick or a worse first-round pick after this trade? Like, do you think they'll be better than they were last year?
It's got to be a lower pick.
Right.
Like, that's not even a question, right?
So if we're looking at 26, 27, 28, I mean, from our mouths to God's ears, if they're picking 31 or 32 especially, then everything went really well.
All they have to do is pick 32 once.
Right.
Once with this deal. I understand you want to be competitive every single season as a Packer fan, and you want the team to put, forth effort to win every single year. But this is now like a step back and look at it when it's all said and over moment as well. If there is one title that comes from this, it is a home run for Ed Policy and the Green Bay Packers.
But if you're looking anywhere from 25 to 32 or whatever it might be, yes, you want your first round pick to be a starter. But the odds that you get someone with those 2 picks of the impact of what Micah Parsons is going to do for this Green Bay Packers defense is very, very slim. And so I think, like, even though they're giving up 2 number ones, it's not like they're giving up the 7th and the 11th. They're giving up the 25th and the 32nd.
So do you think that this makes Green Bay handedly a favorite in the NFC North? Because I do think that Sparky,
I kind of do.
Really. I think the Lions are still going to be competitive. I do. I'm not saying I don't think the Lions will be competitive. I just think in my mind, the Packers are now the favorite, and the Lions are. It still might be 1A, 1B. It might not be 1 and 2. The offense scares me a little bit.
Sure.
And the, Matthew Golden panning out, it seems like there's a lot of pressure on the offense here now. And like we said with Jordan Love,
yes, there's pressure now.
Now Matthew Golden has to kind of pan out too, because otherwise that's going to look like, they didn't add any weaponry to that side of things in the offense or in the offseason. Like, I really want to see Green Bay's offense take a massive step from this move, more than I even do the defense, because I expect it out of the defense.
TNP Walkie tweets in, memo to self, remember to cancel that trip to Pittsburgh in April. April 2026 is the NFL draft in Pittsburgh. You know, we don't have to go anymore.
Yeah,
No first
we
round
do
pick.
not have to go.
Yep.
Wow, draft show, one and done.
Yeah,
right there on the
It's like-
fan,
it's
one
like-
and done draft show.
Yeah, I know. I want more of you and Charlie just breaking things down.
Yeah,
on the off chance the Packers trade back into the first
that
round.
would be just ridiculous.
That would be.
I can't believe it still. I'm just so excited. Like how lucky are we to have like the teams we have in this state right now? Because you have the best record in baseball. You have a team in the Bucks who maybe it's not all sunshine and rainbows over there, but at least
they're Giannis.
Yeah, they still got Giannis, one of the best players ever and the best player in franchise history. And now you got the Green Bay Packers making moves for top players in the NFL right now. Happily would come back in on my off day.
Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. 414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. Give us a call, shoot us a text. Your thoughts. Micah Parsons is a Green Bay Packer. What does this mean for the pressure on Jordan Love? What does it mean for the pressure on Rashawn Gary and LVN? 414-677-1250. I'm Mitch Nelles. He's Tommy Wartz. This is The Fan. This is Wisconsin Sports Daily Overtime with me, Mitch Thunder Nelles, and Tommy Wartz. We were in today for Sparky. I was in. It was a normal day. The Brewers were losing 6-4. It was the 9th inning. I should turn your mic on, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I had to move here. We
it threw me off.
The ship.
That's
man
right.
The ship on the other side.
Brewers were losing 6-4 in the 9th inning.
Who cares?
Yelich was pinch hitting.
Like...
Badgers are playing football tonight. We were talking about over-unders, and all of a sudden, unbelievably, the Green Bay Packers pull off just an absolute shocker. Twitter goes nuts, text messages go nuts, phone lines go nuts. Charlie and I had to run for cover. People were throwing their babies at us, saying, I donated my first child to get Micah Parsons, and Micah Parsons is a Green Bay Packer.
This was at 8:55 this morning. Andy, choose to believe. I know that you want to be in the professional space, and you do a great job at it, and we got a lot of people here who all believe it too.
Whip.
Yeah, right. I didn't say I'm baseball. But choose to believe, Andy. Why not? Just get your heart broken. You do it every year anyway at some point with the Green Bay Packers. So, why not just get that out of the way and then do it again? Do it twice this year if you want. Do it 3 times. Believe and then get your heart broken. Because otherwise you're going to be the guy, well, I knew it wasn't going to happen altogether. And you know who likes that guy?
Nobody.
Yeah. There it is.
Nailed it.
Well,
you chose to believe early. That this was going to happen.
What did we have to lose? Look at how great it is now. Yeah, heartbreak over someone that everyone already was trying to say it wasn't going to happen.
But I'm still excited. I said it was never going to happen in a million years, but I can be shocked and elated and excited too.
I am. You heard me.
I give you kudos for believing.
Yeah, I had said that I don't care about being on this side of it. I wanted everyone to think go ahead. Why not? Why not? Why can't the Packers be the guy? And going back here, oh wow, first of all, poke tub on YouTube. 4 hours ago, we had Dizzy585 on YouTube comment. He is not going to get traded, bro. Stop the cap. Dude in the beginning of the video says it completely correct. This is what Dallas does. You were wrong. Okay. I just wanted to make that clear.
Nice
on that guy. And then Poke Tub said, this didn't age well 1 hour ago underneath his comment. So the Packers, what a phenomenal day for Green Bay. And just to have that on his resume already, Ed Policy and Brian Gutekunst,
yes,
big tip of the cap to them.
Absolute kudos. Anton writes in the dugout. That's the comment section on YouTube. Do you think we may pick up anyone else for a D tackle, practice squad, or even other people's cuts? They already had 6 D linemen, which is one more than usual. But I think this might mean that the kid from Georgia, Strickland, is that the kid's name? What's the kid from Georgia, the defensive lineman? Stackhouse. Thank you.
Yeah.
I knew it was some 80s, 90s basketball player. That Stackhouse might actually play now. That guys who were just on the roster and just going to play a handful of snaps might be counted on to play. Nate Tastic writes in on YouTube. Packers are going to have a hunk of sacks now, just like Tommy is the hunk of love.
Wow,
man, Tommy, YouTube loves you, man.
I mean, I appreciate that. I'm thankful now that my nickname wasn't Hunk of Sack,
right,
compared to Hunk of Love, I guess.
Yep.
But
the Packers will have a hunk of sacks.
It was what a moment for Green Bay. What a moment. This is just unreal. And why not come back in, talk more about it? You can still join us here. We got some time still. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line if you want to jump on, be a part of the show, and share your reactions to Micah Parsons becoming the newest member of the Green Bay Packers. 2 first-round picks, and Kenny Clark gets the deal done. Wow.
Q writes in, and Q was on the show earlier, but he's got a question, kind of a follow-up of something we were talking about with the pressure now on Jordan Love. Is there more pressure now on Jordan Love or Matt LaFleur? Jordan Love to get the wins as the quarterback, or Matt LaFleur as the head coach to make sure this team wins.
Why? I don't know why there would be any pressure added to Matt LaFleur if he is all on the side of the offense. And as far as like, I guess
because he is the head coach,
right? But Jeff Hafley is in
but he's
full
responsible
control
for wins.
100%.
So do they need to? Is it Super Bowl or bust?
If a coach has more pressure, it is definitely Jeff Hafley now than it is Matt LaFleur. You have been gifted this piece of one of the top edge rushers in the NFL, and now you have to dial it up. We remember last year that pass rush was not something Green Bay was very good at last year at all.
At all.
They finished top 8 in sacks, I believe, because they had 15 sacks across 2 different games against 2 AFC South opponents who were sorry last year. And now
Correct.
Jeff Hafley, he wants to have a defense that primarily is 4-man rush. So they went out and got him a guy that's going to take up 2 bodies every time he's out there on the field.
It's just unbelievable that this happened, that the Packers are entering the 2025 season with Micah Parsons as their edge, as their top edge, with Rashawn Gary still there, Alvian still there, Edrin Cooper still there, Quay Walker still there, and now they get Jeff Hafley has all these pieces to play with. I am interested to see how Jordan Love's got to be elated as someone who manifested this, as someone who talked this into existence over the past 6 months, that Micah Parsons could end up a Green Bay Packer. Aesop Mitchell, aka David Cudahy, says, "Thank you, Jesus, hallowed be thy game." On the YouTube channel. Remember, we are on YouTube at The Fan Milwaukee. We're going to be covering this all day tomorrow. We're signing off in a few minutes here. We're going to let the evening guys take over. But tomorrow, Pack-A-Day Radio with Andy Herman from 8 to 9. The Mason Crosby Show. Yes, Mason is back, and he's got to have a lot of opinions on this. We've already seen some texting with us, and he's going to have some, especially from a perspective of a former teammate of Kenny Clark's. So he's going to have some thoughts there as well. That's from 9 to 11. And then, of course, from 2 to 5, I'm in again for Sparky. So Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, on again tomorrow from 2 to 5. And I know we'll have, we'll talk about the Badger game tomorrow. We'll talk about the Brewers tomorrow. But the Green Bay Packers this is uncharted territory for Green Bay Packers fans. This is absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. Damian Lillard is traded to the Bucks, right? It's the same energy.
Shocking.
That is what you are getting right now. It is that energy, but now it is your football team, and the Green Bay Packers have traded for Micah Parsons. What a phenomenal move. And a lot of people have said already coming in too, they haven't won anything yet. They have not won anything. This is just another move that should help the team out immensely, by the way, but they have not won anything. Now you have to go out there and prove it. September 7th. Mark, you already knew the date, but now Micah Parsons is a part of your team on September 7th.
Yeah. It's as the rumor came out earlier this week, I think we all poo-pooed it as a rumor. And
some of you.
And then some people jumped on pretty quickly and said, this could be real. I'm going to choose to believe it. And then even Andy Herman this morning said he's hearing more. There's more smoke here. Usually there's just smoke. He's saying there might actually be a fire here. But then I think the thought was, yeah, but nothing will happen till next week because Dallas will see what happened on the medical report. And Dallas really wants him in-house. Dallas wants to make this work. Brian Schottenheimer thinks he's going to be a Cowboy. Dak Prescott wants him. The quarterback wants him. They all want him to stay. And then all of a sudden, here we are today. Just absolutely unbelievable. Oh, what an afternoon for Green Bay Packers fans. What an afternoon for Wisconsin sports fans. I know Christian Yelich didn't hit a walk-off 3 on Homer. That would have made it even more magical. The Badgers are playing tonight at 8:00. Now we got to stay. Now I just used up all my energy.
Yeah.
Tommy, from 4 to 6, I used up all my energy.
I know.
Where's my energy for an 8:00 kickoff?
Just fall asleep if they're tied.
Done. They'll probably end in a tie.
Game starts 0-0, by the way.
Well, challenge accepted. Tommy will be here tomorrow morning at 8 with Andy Herman. The Mason Crosby Show, Wisconsin Sports Daily. We'll do it tomorrow. This has been great, Packers fans. Thanks for being along for the ride. Tommy, awesome work. See you tomorrow, brother.
See you tomorrow.
It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's.